We are
Ana Marín, Juanita Zapata,
Joan Galvis,
Lucas Acero, and Juan Camilo Caldo.
and this video is part of the third partial exam of the sociolinguistic course. And today we are going to talk about environmental and linguistic sustainability in Colombia and the UTP. Okay, at UTP, environmental sustainability is not an insulated course, but an institutional commitment and a core component of integral professional education. According to the institutional guidelines, the university promotes the formation of environmentally responsible citizens, the integration of sustainability development goals into academic programs, the use of the campus as a living classroom, and the implementation of sustainability-focused courses and policies supported by the environmental policy, the environmental management plan, and the territorial planning plan. This commitment is further reflected in UTP's practical initiative across the campus, such as the agroecological market, the Paca Digestora, the Reciclathon, and the Botanical Garden, which function as spaces for environmental education, waste reduction, and community engagement. This program, along with the clean energy efforts like the installation of solar partners in Building 13, and strengthen UTP's missions to form professionals with a strong environmental awareness and contribute a cultural sustainability within the university and the region.
If you look at a map of where the world's languages are spoken and a map of where the world biodiversity is found, the two maps look almost identical. The places with the most unique plants and animals are also the same places with the most unique languages. Because of this pattern, researchers began to wonder, why was this just a real coincidence, or was there a real connection between this diversity and biodiversity? So after this, they proposed two main ideas. The first one is called the human knowledge link. This idea suggests that indigenous communities who live closely connected to nature carry deep knowledge about local plants, animals, and medicines. And all this knowledge is transmitted through their languages. So the more biodiversity there is, the more linguistic diversity communities need to preserve all this knowledge. And the second idea is the incidental link, which argues that the similarity between the two maps might be simply coincidence. In other words, language and species might not be directly linked. They may be shaped by the world or maybe another aspect.
Now, around the world, the regions with the richest biodiversity usually have communities that speak indigenous languages. These languages are not only about communication, they preserve ecological knowledge. So, if a language will disappear, we lose traditional knowledge that has been passed down for a lot of centuries. Also, a powerful example of this relationship is the Kogi, people from the Sierra Nevada in Santa Marta, in the department of Magdalena. There are approximately 7,000 Kogi speakers, and their language belongs to the Chiccha linguistic family. So that's how the Kogi language carries important ecological knowledge, as their agricultural knowledge of crops like yuca, ñame, papa, or even sugarcane, their understanding of rivers and mountain cycles, and their spiritual worldview that teaches balance between humans and nature. Also, their strong effort to remain apart from colonizers has allowed them to preserve this ecological wisdom inside their language. Protecting the Kogi language means protecting the Sierra Nevada ecosystem.
Building on what my classmate explained about biodiversity and indigenous knowledge, especially the example of the Kogi and how their language preserved their understanding of the Sierra Nevada, I will connect that to four sociolinguistic concepts. The first one is language shift, and it happens when a community stops using their heritage language and moves toward a dominant one, usually because it becomes more necessary for work, school, or social life. When indigenous territories are reduced and ecosystems are harmed, that pressure grows and shift becomes more likely. In contrast, language maintenance refers to the efforts a community makes to keep their language alive. The Kogi show how protecting their territory has also helped them maintain their language and the ecological knowledge that contains it. This links to ethno-linguistic vitality, which is basically how strong a community is when it comes to sustaining its language their numbers, identity, and the support they receive. Finally, language ecology reminds us that languages and environments are interconnected. When the ecosystem is healthy, the language can thrive. When the environment suffers, linguistic diversity decreases. So overall, ecological stability supports language maintenance, while environmental and economic pressures can push communities towards shift, just like we see in the Kogi example.
As bilingual educators, we are not only teaching about grammar and vocabulary, we are preserving entire ways of understanding the world. Every time we validate that students' mother tongue, we keep alive the ecological knowledge embedded in that language. My call to action is integrate environmental topics through multiple languages to promote that respect for minority languages and highlight the ecological wisdom they contain. Teach in a way that honors linguistic diversity, because each language we protect becomes a step toward protecting our planet. By supporting students in valuing their languages while teaching them that every language carries knowledge crucial for the planet's future is how we protect life.